If I told you to think of a game that is 5-player versus 1-player, online only, you'd probably think of Evolve. And you'd be wrong, because today we're talking about DEATHGARDEN, the game by Behav10ur, the team behind Dead by Daylight. So far what we know is pretty scarce. However, I was able to dig up some information and I found out that the team working on DEATHGARDEN is not the same team working on Dead by Daylight. What I mean by this is that the company is big enough that they're able to fund different portions of the team. They have the online service team for PC, the online service team for console games like the PS4 version of Dead by Daylight, and now we're learning that they have a new team that's dedicated solely to working on this game, DEATHGARDEN. Will it come out for PS4 or console? As of right now, we're not really sure. There is going to be a playable demo at PAX East coming up next week, and I'm going to have somebody there to check it out for us. But as of right now, what we know is very little. However, with it coming out so soon, one can speculate the engine used for DEATHGARDEN is probably an edited version of the one used for Dead by Daylight. So I myself am an amateur game developer, and I know a little bit about some of the behind the scenes stuff. Nothing too crucial, nothing that would get me some information on this game, but I do have some insight into knowing that it possibly went down like this. Somebody in the office was working on the engine by Daylight and probably modified it, did a couple tweaks here and there, and made a game that went around the office and was pretty fun to play. And from there was probably the start for DEATHGARDEN. We do know that DEATHGARDEN is a 5v1 asymmetrical shooter, akin to a game like Evolve, but not Evolve. Please don't mistake it with Evolve. Hopefully it's not riddled with poor matchmaking, bad lobby support, and forced DLC right from the get-go. That's probably not how this is going to go. If Dead by Daylight is anything to go by, I think that we're going to have a game that's a lot of fun on our hands. Maybe needs a couple balancing issues here and there, but I think it's going to be great. Especially with the way that they pump in new ideas and new characters into Dead by Daylight all the time. There's constantly new patches coming out, new killers, new skins, new events all the time. We just had the lunar event, which was a lot of fun, and it's just a generator. You're just doing the same generators you've always done, except this one has fireworks when it comes out, and maybe you can win a cool jacket for a character you don't play, which is great. So from what I read on the DEATHGARDEN website and from various articles that I've seen on it, it seems to be that there is one player that is indefinitely a shooter and 5 players that are categorized as runners. It's probably going to play akin closer to Dead by Daylight and Evolve than anything else. However, I think that they're going to put their own unique spin on it. Maybe it'll be like the Culling or PUBG, where there's like a one winner out of everybody, and these 5 players are not working together against the killer. Or maybe it'll be completely different, and it's every man for themselves, and you knock out the killer, you're the next killer, and it's like a King of the Hill style game. I'm not sure. It could be anything at this point, and I think discussing that is going to be wonderful, and it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody who's a fan of Behav10ur games. I myself have had a lot of fun with Dead by Daylight. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time at this point, and it's mainly because of the camaraderie in the game and just like the funny things that happen when you play this game enough and you get to learn inside out and learn your perks and your skills and how to maybe abuse the game or maybe just enjoy the game. I personally play as a survivor like all the time. I play with the same group of guys all the time in Dead by Daylight, and just the things that happen to us are just so insane and just so fun. I'm hoping that DEATHGARDEN can capture even just a fraction of that, and I know that it'll be a success if it does. From me personally anyway. So viewing the teaser millions and millions of times at this point already, it looks very clear to me that there's a very unique kind of art style here. It looks like the guys from that Russian game Pathologic are like the survivor style people, and then like some dude from like Halo or Destiny or something is the shooter. That kind of style looks actually kind of intense to me. It looks cool. I think it's gonna be something unique. I think it's gonna be different. There definitely leaves a lot of room for customization on something like that, and I think a lot of players have always wanted something like that from Dead by Daylight and didn't quite get it. You're now like a blank canvas kind of character. There's so much that you could add to it, and people are probably going to clamor to an idea like that, making your survivor look completely different than somebody else's, but having the same base. That's going to be huge if that's the case. Now, as far as the game goes, there is going to be a playable demo at PAX East next week, and I do have somebody going there who's going to potentially check it out for me, which is great. I wish I could be there myself, but I have too many things going on right now that I'm not able to do that. Last year at PAX East for Dead by Daylight's booth, it was insane. There was like a haunted house, and you had to go through it, and just like the line was out the door, and this is on day 1 and like a Thursday. Nobody goes on a Thursday, and just like this thing was so packed, and they gave out some like cool like skins and things like that. I saw one online on eBay for like $500, which is insane, which is totally insane. And I know that Matthew said on the Twitch stream, the YouTube stream that they do, the Q&As, he did mention that there is going to be something very cool and very special for fans of Dead by Daylight at the booth this year, and to come check them out. Something limited quantity for the first 100 or so people that get there. Is it going to be another skin? Most likely it's going to be something like that. They did tease some killer skins not too long ago, and they just announced that they're on this new yearly plan, and they plan to release 4 killers this year, which is awesome, licensed and non-licensed alike. We at this point know Jeepers Creepers is coming out, so that's awesome. Hopefully it makes way for characters like Leprechaun, also licensed characters to come out. Maybe some new levels. I would love to see like a mirror level where it's just all mirrors everywhere, and but who knows if they did ray casting or not in the game, and that could totally change whether there's mirrors. Anyway, developmental stuff aside, they said that they were going to give out something cool, and if it doesn't happen to be like a skin or something like that, it could be something for DEATHGARDEN. Now, with DEATHGARDEN having a demo there, it's more than likely they have their own booth there, but I didn't see anything on the actual PAX like board where you could see all the booths and vendors. I saw one for Dead by Daylight, but I didn't see one for DEATHGARDEN, so they could possibly be sharing a booth. If that's the case, you're probably more than likely to see some of the developers of the game actually there and talking about the game, and if they are, ask questions, ask as many questions as you can, try to get them to slip up on anything, and report any of that information to me, because I am very eager to hear anything that they have to say about this game at this point. Okay, so in summation, we've learned that it is a B team or a C team working on the game. It's going to be a 5v1 asymmetrical style shooter. We know that the characters who are not shooters are called runners or athletes of some sort, and there's possible character customization that Dead by Daylight did not have. As far as that goes, that's pretty much all we know right now. It's going to be a wild ride, guys, but I can't wait to be a part of it with all of you. So I'll check you out on the message forums, and we'll see where it goes from there. Take care.